What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to this kind of end of the week video. Now I do apologize that this video was meant to be up a couple of days earlier, but things just kind of got in the way and I've ended up filming it later, so I am still going to kind of include it as a midweek video. There still will be a video this weekend, so obviously the videos are going to be quite close, but it's going up anyway. We're going to go for another Q&A, guys, so I've got a random bunch of questions here on the iPad that I'm just going to go through. I have looked through some of them, but some of them I'm not even sure what they are. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to answer between maybe 10 and 15 questions. Not take up too much of you guys' time, but we're going to crack on straight away. I do hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do enjoy it, then don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and let's get on with these questions.
All venom, I'm lost in them, ready for war. Better pray that the Lord with them. My only focus, new vision, my new religion. Just you and vengeance, my new addiction. I don't feel no feelings, now you were dealing with a super villain. Ain't no holding back, I'm a maniac in the mood for killing. No more forgiveness, I owe you payback, I'm coming with it. I promise you my revenge, and I'm going.
Question number one, your take on dips and where to place them in a push workout. Dips are quite a big exercise, so for me, if I was going to do weighted dips, then I would definitely include them kind of nearer the start of the session where you've got obviously more energy in reality. So you're kind of, I wouldn't include them first exercise, maybe second or third exercise, but if you're going to do just bodyweight dips, then it's fine to still do them at the start of the session if you're not the best at them. But I would not probably do weighted dips near the end of the session. I would try and keep them at the start just so you can take the most out of obviously doing a weighted dip. And again, weighted dips, make sure you're either obviously focusing on triceps or chest. So I know that I see a lot of guys obviously jumping on a weighted dip and thinking that they're focusing more on triceps when maybe they're not even locking out their triceps. All they're getting out of it is chest. So just kind of make sure you know what you're doing with that. If you do have access to an assisted dip machine, get used out of that first, get good at it, and then obviously move into weighted side of things. And then obviously you can bring them in at the start of your session, get good at them, get better at them, and obviously increase it. But the weighted dips, I wouldn't say there's many better exercises other than the weighted dips, especially when it comes to looking to improve your arms at the same time. Even chest as well, they're overlooked so much in chest. So where to place them in a push workout, if you're going to do weighted, try and keep them near the start, and bodyweight, implement them at the end of the session. But like I said, if you're not the best at them, if you're just going to do bodyweight, you can still include them near at the start, just when you've got more energy. Tips for a first time competitor, I would definitely recommend getting a coach. This is one of the biggest things because you're going to learn the absolute most, because you're going from not zero knowledge but near enough, not the most knowledge at the start. So you want to get somebody that you're going to be able to learn off as well, to then be able to take that further into obviously being able to coach yourself. But for a first time competitor, you've just got to enjoy it, you've got to prepare for it, make sure you are willing to do absolutely everything that it's going to take. Like, you don't want to believe in a single thing, regardless of it being your first year or your 10th year. You want to give absolutely everything into a contest prep, because these things are like, contest preps are not just like an easy enough diet phase or even like a mini cut. Food's going to obviously vary, food's going to change depending obviously how much body fat you're carrying and stuff like that. But yeah, I would definitely just make sure you're willing to put absolutely everything into it. Hire a coach. It does take a lot of stress off, I must admit that. Posing, guys, posing's a really important thing when it comes to contest prep, so don't leave it to like the last and final 2 weeks. Just don't. That is the worst thing you could possibly do. But you want to display your physique to the absolute best you can. You don't want to just kind of go on and wing it. And you might be in condition, you might be full as hell, you might be the best, you might have the best physique on stage, but see if you can't present it on stage to the best of your ability and the potential that your physique is at the best of its ability, then you're going to get absolutely washed out. You're going to probably take like 4th or 5th place just because of that. And you might actually have the best physique on stage, but just because you can't show it off, because you haven't been practicing your posing. So that's one of the biggest things. Nail the posing, even hire a posing coach, head to the BNBF posing clubs. I know they do free posing clubs all over the UK, so you can't really get away from them. You can't really get much better than that as well, considering they're free as well. You're learning from the pros, from the judges, what they're wanting. And yeah, that's one of the biggest things. Practice your posing, but most of all, just enjoy it, guys. It's not going to be easy, of course. A diet's not going to be easy, especially a contest prep, but the biggest thing is enjoy the process, guys. It is a fun process. There's so many changes along the way. You learn so much. But yeah, that's one of the biggest things. Just make sure you enjoy it, but make sure you're also willing to do the hard stuff. Favorite type of hack squat you've used? I believe I'm going to have to say the Cybex original hack squat at Ultraflex in Durham. Now, I've not had access to a hack squat all my lifting career. I have just been given access to obviously a hack squat at the start of this year, and again, I've not really had that much use out of it because we did go into lockdown. So I think in my whole lifting career, I've only used 2 hack squats. So that's why I'm going to say the original Mark 1 hack squat at Ultraflex Durham, which is the Cybex one. So yeah, I'm going to have to say the Cybex hack squat. How good is Ultraflex Durham? So many travel down from Scotland to train. I think so many people have travelled down from Scotland to train because the gyms are still not open here yet. Likewise, we are getting open on the 31st, which is happening next week. So we are finally getting the gyms open, which is a massive thing. But Ultraflex Durham is a really good gym. Environment's really good. Atmosphere is really good. So if you do get a chance to go, I would head down. It is one of the best places I've ever been to. Have you always followed bro splits? How often do you take rest days? I am a natty and I'm a fan of the bro split as well. I have stuck to the bro split since, I believe, when I started the gym kind of thing. When I did start, I was kind of more into your full body sessions because I never really knew that much. But once I kind of transitioned from that into a bro split, it's always been there. I have tried the push-pull legs, upper body, lower body splits and things, but I've always found myself back at the bro split. So I feel that that's the one that I'm going to be sticking to for quite a while, if not for the rest of my lifting career, because I've made my most progress on that, and that's one of the biggest things. You've got to kind of see what you can adhere to, what you can stick to, what you can remain consistent to, and also what you're willing to put the work into. Do you know what I mean? Like if you can adhere to a push-pull leg split and you can put the graft into a push-pull leg split and you get progress from that, obviously, then that is one of the biggest things. That's perfect. But if you can't, then I would probably look at changing it up to something that you can obviously adhere to and stick to, remain consistent, and then that's where you're going to get the progress from. Like I said, the bro split has always been the one for me. It's always the one I found myself back at if I have changed anything up. So yeah, I'm probably just going to stick to that. What foods would you get if on a budget? Totally depend if I was on a diet base or if I was on an off season. Putting it into example, if I was on an off season, I would be looking for the cheapest of calorie dense foods. Now, if I was on a budget, especially on a gaining phase, it wouldn't really be looking for what's the nicest of foods. I would be looking for what's got the most calories in it and what I'm kind of going to get benefits off of. So if that even meant going for like the kind of own brand foods, because I know you can get a lot of cheap own brand foods. At the same time, things like potatoes are so cheap. Like you can get between like 2.5 to 3 kilo of white potato for like £1. Do you know what I mean? So you can't really go wrong with that. When it comes to the meat side of things, obviously that's a little bit dearer. So that is where you would kind of implement a good protein source just to go along with that to kind of compensate for some of the meat that you're obviously not going to buy. But I do believe there are a lot of good videos out there that do explain, even on things like on a student budget and stuff like that, how you can gain on a student budget. I know that Matt Does Fitness has actually done a video that how you can spend something like £25 a week and be in a really good calorie surplus. So even at that, videos like that are always going to be good. But food wise, I would always just look for calorie dense foods, regardless of whether they're going to taste nice or not. If I was on a budget and couldn't get the foods that I wanted to get, then I would be definitely looking for that. Fat loss phase is going to be a lot easier because you're going to be eating a lot less. But like I said, guys, things like potatoes, sweet potatoes as well, these stuff are like the cheapest of hell. Rice, you can literally get a bag of rice like that size, so big, for like £1, which is going to last you like between 2 weeks to like a month. Same with things like pasta. You're just looking for carb sources. Your protein sources again can come from supplements as well. Not all of it. You could like split between like 60-40% of obviously protein supplements and getting as much food in as possible. But like I said, guys, what foods would I get on a budget? I would probably just stick to the kind of foods that I buy now because they're not even that dear. Like I said, potatoes, chicken. I don't really eat much else. I've got obviously my unrivaled supplements again, which aren't the cheapest, but at the same time they are really beneficial towards my goals. Biggest thing would just be looking towards what has got the most calories in it. You don't want to spend like £1 on something that's not calorie dense. If you're going to spend like that amount of money on a budget, you want it to be worth it. So yeah, just look for calorie dense foods and you should be fine with it. When did you start bodybuilding? I started bodybuilding in 2017. Training wise before that, I believe it would have been maybe a year or two before that I kind of got into your more hypertrophy style training. So obviously your bodybuilding style training. But I didn't start to compete. I didn't start taking anything to do with nutrition up until 2017, and that was actually my first year competing. Now this year I'm going on to my 4th year competing, which has been back to back. So I've done 2017 to 2020. Not been that long. I'm still a beginner, like I always say in my Instagram posts. I am still a beginner in this sport. It's going to take a long time for me to kind of get more experience than that, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So yeah, I've been bodybuilding since 2017. Thoughts on tracking things like diet drinks, pre-workouts, EAAs, etc. Well, things like diet drinks and pre-workouts are going to be kind of different, but EAAs, obviously, your essential amino acids, you can get like carb formed EAAs, so I would definitely track that. Of course, if you're going to take in something like between 30 and 50 grams of carbs, that's one of the biggest things that I would watch. You don't kind of get put off by, because you could think that you're just taking in an essential amino acid drink that's got no carbohydrates in it, and then you get absolutely pumped because you've been taking in an extra 50 grams of carbs. Yeah, I would definitely track that. Pre-workouts and diet drinks, nah. I mean, you're not going to go all out on things like Monster unless you're drinking like 10 cans a day. Then I would definitely maybe think about cutting that down, not even tracking it, cutting it down. Pre-workouts, depending what the panel's like, you need to just kind of check them first. Again, I wouldn't really worry that much about tracking them, but your essential amino acids, just if they're carb formed, then yeah, make sure you know that at the very start. So that's the only one I would really track. One working set on deadlifts, okay, if I have squats in 2 days later. If you can get benefits from one working set on deadlifts, then do that. If you can get benefits from doing 2, it totally depends what you're going to be able to recover from as well. Even split that up. So if you're going to do 2 working sets or 1 working set on deadlifts, I think you should be fine if you've got squats 2 days later. Your recovery should be okay for that. If you want to add in more working sets on deadlifts, then what I would just do is I would just kind of add in another day for recovery, rest up, and then go on your squats. So even do your 2 to 3 working sets on deadlifts, give it 3 days, maybe even 4 days, and then implement your squats. But like I said, it's one of the biggest things is recovery. If you can recover from that, then that is perfect. You're going to get benefit from that. If you're eating enough, you're recovering enough, and then it's time to go again. If you're still progressing on that, then that should be okay. Are you already stage ready? I am not already stage ready, not yet. As you can see, I've still got quite a bit to go. We've got quite a while. We've still got 9 weeks to go. So yeah, 9 weeks, and then hopefully I should be ready to be on stage. But I'm not stage ready. There is a big difference between being lean and being stage ready lean. So conditions obviously 100% not there yet. We've still got time to diet. We've got the 9 weeks, like I said, so I hopefully should be ready by that time for the BNBF finals. Right, next question, training split, question mark. Everybody knows that I'm on the bro split now. I'm not going to go any further into this. My training split is the bro split, typical bodybuilding split, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, as I said, I'm not going to go any further into it because I feel that I go into depth on it too much, and then it just kind of frequently gets asked so many times, especially on Instagram, like between 5 and 10 times a day. What's your split, bro? It's the typical bodybuilding split, bro split, and that's it. Have you ever considered PEDs? Love the content, okay? I appreciate the fact that you love my content. That does mean a lot. Have I ever considered PEDs, as in performance enhancing drugs, for anybody that doesn't know? So steroids, that'll be. I think I would be lying if I sat here and said that I have never considered or I've never been tempted to take them, because I don't think any natural bodybuilder can sit there and be like, do you know something? I have never considered it. I've never been tempted to take it. Everybody has. It's always been there, especially when you aren't that knowledgeable on it. It's one of the biggest things that is literally taken over the industry. I mean, steroids are bodybuilding, let's be honest. We're not going to sit here and talk a lot of rubbish and say that it aren't. I have considered it, I have been tempted, but there's always been that kind of bit that I really want to see what I can achieve naturally. Like my progression that I've made naturally, even over the past kind of few years, has been pretty big. So the last thing I want to do is kind of stop maxing out my potential and obviously move to the kind of assisted side. Don't get me wrong, I am the last person to have anything against it, but right now it is not on the to-do list. I am not going to be going on anytime soon. It's not going to be a thing. Now I've just seen that I've been asked this question, so I'm probably going to use it as a wacky thumbnail. I do apologise for that, but I think I might have to anyway. Consideration wise for performance enhancing drugs, yes, it's been there over the years, but like I said, I don't think any natural bodybuilder can sit here and be like, do you know something? I have never ever considered taking steroids or thinking about steroids or looking up steroids. But like I said, guys, the more you become knowledgeable on them, the more you kind of think about them. And as I said as well, my progress naturally hasn't been the worst. So that is also another thing that wants me to obviously stay natural and take my physique as far as possible, take my strength as far as possible. I don't really want to take this topic that much further, do you know what I mean? I don't want it to be like a full video on steroids, but like I said, guys, I don't think anybody's been in that kind of position where they've been able to say that they've never considered or they've never been tempted to take steroids. It's always been a thing. it is the sport, and that is really it. But I feel as if we are far enough into this video, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap this one up, guys. I do have a small shoulder workout edit that I'm going to include to this video, which was actually a decent shoulder session. I was able to take 120 kilo for the first time ever on the barbell shoulder press. It was a good session, intense session, but like I said, I'm just going to wrap this Q&A up here. So I do hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed it, then don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video.